Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening from wherever you're watching or listening. My name is Caleb Glick. I'm a lawyer here in the great state of Texas with the Calhoun School of Law to bring you a lot of information that plenty of bad folks would rather you not have. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we'll provide another installment on our series on Mr. Niccolo Machiavelli's The Prince. We're going on to chapter 7, so if you haven't gone back and watched 1 through 6, I highly encourage you to do so. Because even though Mr. Niccolo Machiavelli's works weren't directly influential, frankly, weren't influential in the founding generation's beliefs when they were going about drafting our governing documents, the tactics and the strategies that Niccolo Machiavelli outlines in The Prince are, to this day, and have been for a while, utilized by tyrants and ambitious individuals to subjugate the citizens. And oftentimes, just knowing about these strategies is sufficient to deter a tyrant from even attempting or thinking about attempting to use the strategies to enslave and subvert their citizens. So let's go ahead and jump on over to The Prince. Like I said, we're going on to chapter 7. This is going to be a very quick lecture. Why? Because the vast majority of chapter 7 is dedicated to illustrating through historical examples the principles that we are going to extract. These core principles that many ambitious individuals in government like to implement whenever they try to go about garnering as much power as they can for themselves. So chapter 7 is titled, States Won by Lucky Circumstances in Someone Else's Armed Forces. He says, a private citizen who becomes a ruler out of sheer good luck needn't make much effort to take his state, but will have to sweat if he is to hold on to it. He has no trouble climbing onto his pedestal, since he is lifted there. But as soon as he is up on top, there will be any number of problems. I'm talking about situations where someone who buys a territory with money or is simply granted it as a favor. And here he kind of makes the first allusions of the historical examples. So we skip down here to this next paragraph. These men rely entirely on the support and continuing success of the people who gave them power, which is to say on two extremely unreliable and unstable quantities. They don't know how to hang on to power, and even if they did, they wouldn't be able to. They don't know how, because unless they are remarkably gifted and competent, we can hardly suppose that their lives as private citizens have equipped them for command. They won't be able to do in any event, because they don't possess an army that can be relied on to stay friendly and loyal. Like anything that appears suddenly and grows fast, regimes that come out of nothing inevitably have shallow roots and will tend to crash in the first storm. Sounds fairly commonsensical. Whatever you get quickly can be taken away and disappear just as quickly. Unless, of course, the man who is suddenly made a ruler turns out to be so talented that he immediately sets to work to defend what luck has brought his way and to build the foundations that another leader would have established before coming to power. And like I said, the rest of this chapter, as you can see here, is just devoted to illustrating those principles being put into practice, how it turned out, how to improve the plans and the actions that were taken by these leaders in history, so that whenever you or whoever is reading this book has a better result, better intended, well, that's the best word for it, a better result after implementing this strategy. So if you have any questions about what Mr. Niccolo Machiavelli was saying there, I mean, in summary, in short, he's basically saying if a regular citizen somehow finds his way stumbling into power, more likely than not, he's going to lose that power just as quickly as he got it, unless by miraculous chance, he's very competent, has somehow multi-generational wisdom instilled into his mind, and then therefore can competently take up the reins and then go on to effect a standing government. Anyway, if you have any questions about what was said in chapter 7, maybe questions about a legal topic we've covered in the past, maybe questions about what was said in the previous chapters, or if there's a legal topic you'd like me to cover in a future lecture, just go ahead and post those down in the comments, because the entire purpose of the Calhoun School of Law is to equip you with the necessary skills and information such as this to combat any sort of lawfare that will be waged against you, your loved ones, or your hard-earned property. So please, if you have any questions at all, go ahead and post them down in the comments. Excellent. So I hope you'll have a wonderful day. And until I see y'all in the next lecture, the next topic, I bid you all farewell.